Now on Primetime, it's severe weather round 2.
We kept hearing this awful sound, and we looked up, and there were swirling clouds above our heads.
It's just lightning one right after the other, and then the thunder, loud booms.
But the wind is just whipping through here, and the rain is coming down in sheets, and it's actually almost hurting my face. It's pelting me in the face.
The pictures, the video, your comments all tell the story. Mother Nature packs another wallop. Primetime starts right now. And first on Primetime, Sky 3 is live over the storm damage in Denver. Denver Emergency Management reports that a tornado touched down and caused the damage. Here you see a tree appears to be leaning over the roof of that house. We know some of the areas impacted were Burton Lane, Windy Pine Circle, Forney Hill roads. About 8 to 10 homes damaged, and apparently one mobile home destroyed. They're looking as Sky 3 pushes in. A tree down across the home here. We are just getting our first images of the damage. It has been quite a day.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News Prime Time starts right now.
Wow, way too close for comfort. This amazing video of a lightning strike shot by one of our viewers in Boger City, one of several local communities to feel the brunt of this evening's storms. Great to have you with us. I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Meteorologist Eric Thomas has been a very busy man. He is in the First Alert Weather Center. And Eric, some of those pictures really scary, especially that lightning strike. And we are not out of the woods yet.
No, we're not, Maureen. And again, I can't say it enough. Please, folks, don't go out there trying to shoot lightning. That was probably 30 feet from a fatality right there. Now, we're going to get back to some of those damage pictures Maureen was talking about in just a minute, but I want to show you, first of all, this line of storms still means business, my friends. We have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings to tell you about, Lancaster and also Union County in North Carolina, Lancaster in South Carolina, and then also Stanley, Montgomery, both areas of activity right now in effect, that until 7:45 this evening. Now, I'm just a little bit closer because, again, I want to show you that these warnings are still up for Union County, as said, northern Stanley and also northern Montgomery. Let's go over to our other source, and we're going to drill down and show you what's happening. Here we have this hail core right along 74. We've already had reports today of 1-inch hail, so around Old Plank Road, Holly Tree Lane, and also Gilboa Road. This is moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So, again, areas to the east around Highway 74 over to around Wadesboro and Anson County. We need to alert you that this is coming your way, and this could also pose some damage. Let's roll down now to the west-southwest, and we'll show you that bright yellow area again with the severe thunderstorm warning. And again, Sweetgrass Lane. We have Daisy Couch. This is the North Carolina-South Carolina border. Let's keep rolling this picture up. There you see Highway 601, and then we have really some intense action here all the way down through Lanella Drive, New Hope Road, and again, here's Heath Springs. So we're now in the middle of Lancaster County. Here's Lancaster itself, and again, all of this action moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour, coming into view now. Also, Mount Carmel Road. Look at the amount of lightning, Maureen, in this area as this is rolling through central sections of Lancaster County, and also we've got Kershaw coming in here. They were getting hammered yesterday, Thornhill Road. So again, at the moment, we're not seeing any tornado signatures down there, Maureen, but we are still worried about large hail, flooding rains, of course the lightning, and the potential for some wind damage. You don't need a tornado just for that. So that's where we are right now, and I know you're going to be recapping some of the action we've already seen today.
And Eric, we do want to go back to Sky 3 live, and we were hoping that you could look at these pictures with us. Here are some of the cleanup crews arriving, and we want to get your take on this, Eric Thomas. We see some trees down, widespread damage, some trees just flattened there. They are telling us that they believe in Denver that a tornado did in fact touch down. You looked at that hook echo earlier this afternoon, followed this very closely, gave the first alerts to our viewers out there. What does this look like to you?
I got to tell you, Maureen, this could be a weak tornado, and I'll tell you why. Because what's interesting is the way these trees are sort of knocked down in a little bit of a scattered pattern. Although what I'm not seeing is a lot of times because of the rotation, you'll see the trees laying down in a different orientation. These do all appear to be laying down in about the same direction, which may lean you to think that this could have just been a microburst wind. But on the other hand, we're not just seeing a bunch of trees mowed down which would indicate a larger scale downburst of wind. So a telltale sign a lot of times of these very weak tornadoes, these F0s, these F1s, they'll get in there, they'll kind of pick up a tree, drop it to the ground, then the tornado lifts up for a moment or two, then it might kind of spin down again and pick up a few more trees. So this is probably what we're looking at here. I'm going to say a weak tornado, but I still would not rule out a microburst. But you know what? At the end of the day, wind damage is wind damage.
It is damage, and people obviously have to clean up and pick up the pieces after that. Your first alert weather team, Eric Thomas, is going to stay on top of the system that is still passing through and causing quite some damage tonight. So we will go back to you if anything changes. But Sky 3 there live. Our first pictures tonight of the damage that those people are enduring right now in Denver. The storms aren't over yet. As Eric mentioned, there's lots of lightning out there. Lightning is very dangerous. We want to encourage all of you to stay safe tonight and keep it right here. We'll go back to Eric if anything changes in the First Alert Weather Center. 3 people are dead in an apparent murder-suicide not far from Raleigh tonight. This scene growing all too familiar in the town of Clayton. A 50-year-old man, a 42-year-old woman, and a 15-year-old boy, all dead. 3 other kids were in the house. They were not hurt. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from domestic problems. And this horrifying scene in Clayton coming there on the heels of an even bloodier killing in Gastonia, that quadruple murder-suicide tonight. The lone survivor, she remains in serious condition. Destiny Minter is still on a respirator. She was shot in the head, but somehow survived. Her father, Austin Minter, pulled the trigger. He killed his pregnant girlfriend, Tracy Hedgepath, and their other 2 children before turning the gun on himself. Little Destiny's chilling words, "Daddy did it." And no one should be surprised that Daddy did it. He was a monster, a violent criminal. Everyone had a file on this guy. The cops, the courts. But 4 people are dead tonight. And a lot of people say a broken system is to blame. Primetime's Jeff Atkinson is joining me now. And Jeff, the writing wasn't only on the wall. It was in a court document that said Austin Minter has threatened to kill me. Why weren't people listening?
It's a hard one to fathom, Maureen. Court records show that Austin Minter had a history of mental illness, and there were numerous violent episodes, including death threats, as you mentioned. We see cases like this happen so often. We're asking in our cover story tonight, how do you stop it?
Domestic violence is a huge problem in our society. It's really important for us as a community to intervene.
2 women, 2 of many, on the front lines fighting the war against domestic violence in Mecklenburg County. Want to know how widespread the problem it is? A majority of the inmates in the Mecklenburg jail, like all institutions, are there, officials say, due to some form of family dysfunction, and most of that dysfunction is family violence. Karen Simon is the director of the inmate programs in the Mecklenburg jail.
Domestic violence is probably the most dangerous issue that we confront in our community, period.
She adds it's domestic violence that's more likely to end up with someone's death than anything else, as we've seen so many times.
I think it's a part of our culture. Violence is a part of our culture, unfortunately.
Cindy Patton, managing attorney for Legal Aid of North Carolina, is a state-funded program operating in all counties that locally handles nearly all the domestic violence cases in Mecklenburg County. How do cases like Austin Minter's happen? A history of mental illness, numerous violent episodes involving family members, including death threats. Why wasn't he stopped? Theories abound. You can't lock up everybody with a mental health problem. It's a matter of resources. You also can't predict human behavior, and neither is the court system designed to jail for a long period of time every defendant who's ever assaulted someone. It can leave advocates frustrated.
You just have to take the steps that you can within the confines of the system, but it is such a huge problem. I don't think it's anything that's going to be eradicated overnight.
It requires more education, she says. Gains are being made, and some of that work is going on behind bars. Mecklenburg County is unique in the country in that every inmate in jail gets domestic violence counseling. For women, who are often victims, how to recognize an abusive relationship, and for men, training in anger management, among other things. Karen Simon, director of inmate programs, says they're hoping it can be passed down.
There's nothing more important for us as a community to do than protect our children. And it really is. Domestic violence is more significant than partner violence, is children, whether that child is actually abused by the adult or whether they see their mother being abused over time.